You're eating something again for the intro, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Half Brothers podcast. Jacob, I'll let you do the intro now.
I thought you were doing the intro. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast that he just told you about. My name is Jacob,
My name is Glenn.
and we are half brothers, as why we named the podcast Half Brothers Podcast. If you didn't tune into last week's episode, what are you doing, man?
What are you doing?
That was a great episode. We had a lot of fun with that episode. At least, I mean, I'll speak for you. It was a good episode. It was a lot of fun. Maybe you're not a WWE fan and that's why you didn't watch it, but definitely go watch it because you should become a WWE fan. It's fire right now.
It's back, and now's the time to get into it. My roommate is half Jewish and has nothing to do with this, but I got him into wrestling now. So he was asking me how John Cena's doing, and I think it's a big deal for him. So it doesn't matter if you grew up Christian, Jewish, both, Muslim, atheist, anything, guys. You need to get right with John Cena in the WWE.
Although,
And get right with God. But yeah,
I mean,
right now, WWE is where it's at.
we're gonna talk about it. Let's just start things off with it. You might want to get right with John Cena, but I don't think John Cena wants to get right with you, if I'm being honest, man. After that promo he cut on Monday, dude, cook that
That's so
kid.
fair.
Cook that kid in the
He did.
promo.
He literally said, F them kids. Real quick, if you didn't listen to last week's episode, I'm going to encourage you right now to stop this episode, go back and listen to last week's episode, especially if you are a WWE fan, okay? I don't care what age you were, what era you were. It's very important that you go back and listen to that. It was a really good one. Share it with your friends, okay, that like WWE or that are getting into it now because it's important for the context. But as we talked about, John Cena has been the babyface or the good guy. There's been a huge switcheroo. So what Jacob is talking about has a lot to do with what we talked about in that last episode. So anyway, Jacob, I'll give you the floor. What happened on Monday Night Raw this week?
Yeah, so I mean, honestly, I didn't watch all of Monday Night Raw. I really just watched that one segment. I've been insanely busy lately.
That's okay. I only meant that segment, and people didn't even need to know that you didn't watch it all because we're only going to talk about that segment.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
What happened?
So Cena comes out. Usually, he's all hype when he comes out. He's looking at the crowd and everything, and he runs to the ring. Like he says something to the camera, holds up his towel, and runs to the ring. Not this week. Comes out walking, holds up his towel, doesn't even hold it all the way up, like holds it like halfway down, and just walks to the ring. Gets in the ring, stands silent for probably 2 minutes as the crowd is just chanting, John Cena sucks to his theme song, and then half the crowd is, saying Cena sucks. The other crowd, half is saying, what is it? Is it Let's Go Cena? Is that what they say? Yes, Let's go Cena. Cena sucks. So like he's just letting that go on for, a minute. And then picks up the microphone and then just places it back down on the mat, acts like he's gonna walk out of the ring. Does that same thing like 2 or 3 times. And then he gets on the mic and he just goes scorched earth on the W universe, saying like, you guys have treated this is a toxic relationship I have with you guys. You guys have treated me so bad over the years. You made me the butt of a stupid invisible joke for the last 15 years. It's pathetic. He was like, all the people that are saying Cena sucks, like you're the worst. And then even worse than that, all the people that are saying let's go Cena, you're even worse than those people. Just all this crazy stuff. And then Cody comes out, and I thought, I'll be real, I'm loving Cody right now.
Cody's on fire.
Pissed off Cody, dude. Like,
he's amazing. It's so much better. It's so much better. Yes. I liked Cody, and I got back into the WWE because of Cody's story last year. But I was always like, oh yeah, he's cute. That's cool. He's Dusty Rhodes' son. And he's great. And I do love him. That's I'm kind of downplaying it, but it got stale, like you mentioned. But dude, pissed off Cody. It's like a little bit of the Attitude Era has come back, but in a modern context. But
yep. Pissed off Cody is so good. So he's, talking to John. He was like, I was getting excited for a little bit there to face John Cena at WrestleMania. He was like, but you're not John Cena. Like, you're not the guy on that shirt. He was like, if you show up to WrestleMania like this, I'm going to walk through you. And then just kind of walks out. And I don't think Cena says anything else. Maybe he does. You'll have to correct me. I don't remember if he did or not.
He didn't say a word.
Yeah,
I mean,
else.
Cody, what do you say after someone calls you a whiny bee? Because Cena, here's the thing. I will say this. I was wondering how Cena was going to come out, right? Like how was heel Cena going to come out? I was also curious, like what music was going to play, but I think it actually did the right thing. They played his normal theme song. They didn't go back to Thugonomics, Word Life. They kept it with your time is up, my time is now, or whatever. The song that he did most of his career. and then you hear that dan descending scale in his song, and the crowd, loudest boos. Dude, I told you this last week, but loudest boos I've heard since I think December 2nd, 2010, LeBron James's first game back in Cleveland against the Cavaliers. That's what it felt like.
Nobody
It was
has as
like,
much heat as LeBron returning to Cleveland as LeBron did
dude,
returning to Cleveland that night. Have you
miss
watched like
that.
some of the videos that like the Heat players have like talked about that? Like they were like, "This is insane."
Yeah, yeah, no, I've heard it. I've heard it, and I like, and I just think of how real that like booing and hate was,
Mm-hmm.
and like, it's not scripted or anything, but Monday at Raw, which was not Monday Night Raw, it was Monday afternoon Raw for Americans,
Yeah,
because yeah, where are they at, Belgium or something?
yeah, they're in
Or
Belgium
yeah,
right now. They're going to
yeah. So I was
Italy
like,
for
I'm
on
literally
Friday SmackDown.
working. Gotcha. Yeah, I had my laptop out and I was like, "Oh my gosh, Raw starts in like 20 minutes." So I had to like send emails and work while watching. But let's be honest, and if my boss doesn't listen to this, but if she does, I wasn't working there for about the 30 minutes or 25 minutes, however long that promo was, because I was just locked in. But dude, yeah, seeing him come out, in the same outfit, just with red, like the red has always been evil, right? The Sith Lords, right? Just like, I don't know, red has always been the bad guy. And so him
Yeah,
coming out in that red that I don't, maybe he's worn red before, but it just has so much significance right now. And then him coming out in just like, it wasn't even tough guy. It was like, it really was a whiny baby. It was like, and a lot of stuff he was saying was valid though, because I've been going back and watching videos, and like there was a time where I stopped watching, and he was getting booed, and like his beef with The Rock, I remember like he was babyface the whole time, but he was getting a lot of hate, and some fans were kind of sick of him, all this stuff, and a lot of the stuff he was saying kind of valid. Kind of valid. Like
yeah,
it was, they like he said you just take and take and take, and it's so true. We really took him for granted. And I think it's genuinely gonna be like when LeBron retires. When John Cena and LeBron retire, we're gonna be like, damn, those were incredible athletes, top of their game. Like they were the GOATs, at least of their generation.
for
So
sure.
yeah, man.
Just real quickly, I don't want to make this whole WWE podcast, but
No, 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 but we're
that
good. We're only at
segment,
a few minutes.
yeah, that segment went so long. For those of you who didn't watch or don't know, that segment went so long. There was another match planned right after. Um, and that match was supposed to go about 11 minutes. Yes, wrestling is scripted. It's fake. You go in there and try to do that stuff and tell me how fake it is. Anyway, we know it's scripted. We know there's supposed to be winners and losers. Matches are supposed to go a certain amount of time. Get over it. So, next match is supposed to go 11 minutes. That promo went so long, they had to cut the next match down to 30 seconds, which has never happens. Like those are considered squash matches. And especially the Austin Theory, like hats off to him, because if I was him, I'm like, I'm not about to go out there and, get squashed by him. Like I'm actually starting to gain some steam here a little bit. Like, like I'm catching back up to what the hype that I originally had. Like he's not about to go out there and squash me in 30 seconds. Absolutely not. But he played his part, he did his thing, and he went out there, took a spear, and it was over. But you like texted me, or were like, I'm gonna pull up the text actually. But you were like texting me, like, man, dude, I think Cena's actually like upset by these boos. Like, I think he's crying. Like,
He was tearing up. He was 100. There were tears in his eyes. I don't know if it was like, I don't know what it was, but like if it was character or what. But I do think genuine some of the anger, like some of the stuff he's been feeling over the years of like the not being appreciated and stuff like that. I think some of that was coming from a real place. Personally,
I don't know, I don't know. He's
I don't know, I'm
just
watching.
he's so good. It's hard for me to ever tell when it's a work and when it's shoot.
But bro,
Like
let me
it's
ask you
so
this:
hard.
if you were so amazing at something and people started to take you for granted and not appreciate you, like, and you had the chance to like really voice that, but still like, I think that he's channeling a character for sure. But I'm saying at least I do think some of it is like a place of realness. Like, I can't believe because he should have been loved the entire time and been the hero the whole time. But for whatever reason, people just turned on him. And it's not because he did anything wrong, it's because he
So
stuck around so
my
long.
thing is, like what I texted you, like you were like, bro, he's tearing up a bit. He literally said, "F them kids, never thought I'd see the day." I think
That was
Cena
crazy.
is legit sad he got booed so hard. And my response was, nah, he's the GOAT. He's getting exactly what he wants.
Yes.
A huge crowd reaction. He
Yes.
wouldn't be getting this reaction if he was still face. And the taking for granted, the Cena sucks chance back in the day, like when he was still full-time guy and everything. Like he was so good that he knew, like as long as they're chanting my name, as long as they're engaged in my promo, I'm doing something right.
Yeah.
So I don't think he ever really cared whether it was, hey, I'm the face, you're supposed to cheer me, or hey, I'm the face, you're supposed to cheer me, but I'm getting booed. I don't think he cared. Because the worst ones are the people when you go out there and you're getting no noise. When you go out there and you cut a promo and the crowd's not into it. That's never been him. That's never, in this year, it's not going to be him at all ever.
Yeah.
So I think that, like, while yeah, it could come from a place of, like, genuinely how he feels, I don't personally think that it did. I think that he's too smart. He knows the game too well. He understands that back in the day, like, he kind of had to go with the Cena stuck stuff. And especially because, like, if you watch some of his old promos, like the one where Roman forgot his line.
Yeah, that was so good.
Yeah, he
That was
comes at
so
him and
good.
he was like, it's called a promo, kid. You're gonna have to learn to do it.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And then later on in that promo, he starts talking about, like, he was like, you're the reason why I still have to be here. Like, you guys are all saying that I'm, squashing young talent. I'm not letting you guys rise. He was like, it's because of this type of stuff that I still have to, show my face around here, that I can't get out of here because guys like you, who are supposed to be the next big thing, can't do a freaking promo. You can't remember your lines in a promo. And, like, says that in that later on in that promo. So it's like, he knows, man. He knows. He's too good at the game. Again, he is the GOAT. So I think that I don't think it's really coming from a genuine place. I think that they know what they're doing. So, like him and Triple H, the writers, they're all so locked in right now that they knew what he needed to say in order to, build this story even. Like, if he would have came out and been like, you know what, it's all about me. I'm trying to win 17. Like, I think, that would have been a good promo and it would have done decent, but I did not expect him to come out and be a whiny, be like he was.
Yeah, I think the more I hear you talk about it, the more I'm like, dang, Jacob's right. Because you're absolutely right, dude. He's getting the strongest reaction still. And so it's a reaction. And it's like it just, the only person I would say I would say is like, not happy, even though they got a huge reaction, is Hulk Hogan in that first Monday Night Raw. The fans have totally turned on him for whatever reason. I know there's a bunch of reasons. It's not just politics, it's partially politics. And he was in front of an LA crowd, which obviously they're really liberal there, and he was like ripping his shirt at a Trump thing. But
Yeah.
also just his like the story with the Undertaker, him lying about being injured. Like Hulk Hogan did some shady stuff back then, and that's a place where I think like, at least the boos Cena's getting are not because of some shady stuff. It's like because he's doing so well
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
what he's given.
exactly. Yeah.
So that's good. But shout out to Hulk Hogan. You're still one of the goats, brother, and wrestling wouldn't be where it's at without you. When
I
he
was worried the
dies,
crowd
you
wouldn't boo
people
him.
wouldn't boo Cena.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
they
mean,
did.
especially because, like, as soon as his music hits, there's a cheer. But then everyone's like, no, I'm a wrestling fan. I got to boo him. He's
Dude,
a heel now. I got to boo him.
it was like a swarm of bees just like took over that stadium. Like the boos were so loud, dude. But
Yeah.
here's what I'll say. Last thing I'll say about this, and then we can move on. Here's where it's like genuinely evil. Jacob, imagine your entire life. Let's imagine you're 10, by the way. Think back to when you were 10.
I've been 10 before.
Imagine you're 10 years old and your entire life up to that 10th year, you're like, man, I can't wait to go to Monday Night Raw and see John Cena. And then you're all dressed up in John Cena gear. And then John Cena sees you in the front crowd and looks right at you and acknowledges you. And you're like, oh my gosh, my hero's acknowledging me. And he says, even you are toxic, little boy. I'm done with you. I'm done with all of you. Even you, little boy, you suck. I hate you.
So in the moment, it would suck. It'd be terrible. But then as I get to, 26 years old, I'd be like, bro, John Cena called me out in a promo and the camera panned to me. Like, that's so cool.
Oh, for
You know how
sure.
many times, like, I've been at a sporting event or basketball game and they do the crowd cam? Never once have I ever been on one of those things.
Yeah, dude. They always try to get me on the kiss cam with my buddy, and he won't do it.
See,
Anyway.
I wish, man. That'd be a dream come true.
Yeah, but that kid, dude, his face was priceless. So he was genuinely like,
Me?
what? But yeah, he's gonna tell that story later in life.
For
Anyway,
sure.
I'll transition into my next thought, Jacob. I'd love to hear your stuff on this, and we can kind of go with this because wrestling actually had one of these that was really good. But I wanted to ask you because a lot's been going on lately. Jacob and I are kind of riffing today. We're just having a good time. And one thing I was thinking about though recently is I have an Xbox, and it's been sitting there for about a year. I've not touched it. I used to touch my Xbox all the time, as in I would play it. And I haven't done that. But growing up, it was a huge part of my life, and it's still a big part of many people's lives. But I was thinking about some nostalgic games, bro. Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, Sonic the Hedgehog. There's a ton and more. But I was curious, Jacob, if it came to 3 video games, and you can do some honorable mentions, but I want you to take a second, think about some of your best video games, favorite video games. It could be Game Boy, it could be on a console. If you remember some of your favorite games and why, I would love to hear that. And to give you some time to think about it, I'm going to start. Let's do this. When it comes to shooter games, everyone's Call of Duty. Everyone's Call of Duty. Everyone's Halo.
I
I
already know
was
your
Gears
answer.
of War.
Yep.
Gears of War, just the graphics, incredible. The third person shooter style is incredible. And it was back in the day, we had the Xbox Live chats. I think they still have them for people that play. I don't know. I've not been a part of it. But back in the day, we used to have a squad. It was me, Moochie, Will, a few other dudes that went to Kenmore with Moochie. And like literally every single night for at least like 2 years, not every night, but most nights, we would be at home, just dominate that game as a team. And it felt like you were hanging out with people. But in reality, I was in my room alone. So, but yeah, man, it was just so different because the storyline was amazing. And I encourage anyone that has a ton of free time and no life and no friends to maybe go back and play this video game in 3 days. The storyline's incredible. There's heartbreak. It should have been a movie, but yeah, it's one of those things where it's the end of the world. There's an alien takeover called Locust, and there's a ton of battle through it all. So if you were a Gears of War guy or gal, drop it in the comments. What's your favorite Gears of War character? What's your favorite Gears of War memory? And are you excited for the new Gears of War that's coming out this year?
And while you're down there in the comments, be sure to hit that subscribe button.
Yeah. Also just like, drop like an amount of money you're willing to Venmo us.
Yeah, and we'll send you our Venmos.
But yeah, man, what video games are coming to mind? You and I used to play a lot of video games.
I was a big Call of Duty guy. Big, big, big Call of Duty guy.
Which one or which one?
All of them. All of them. So the one that comes to the 2 that come to memory most are the original Black Ops, because like you were saying, we'd have a squad. It was me, Eli, Austin, and John. JJ, John, whatever you want. He listens sometimes, but we would play Black Ops 1. We would always buy the DLCs and play the new zombies maps together. And that was the one that I played the most online multiplayer as well. And then the next one, I think it was Black Ops 3. Me and a bunch of my buddies played it a lot senior year, like a lot. We would stay up till like 2, 3 in the morning playing that game and then have to wake up and go to school. I had 180 tardies my senior year of high school.
Are you kidding me?
Nope.
How? Are there 180 school days?
Maybe I'm lying. Well, I 100% had over 100 tardies.
Yeah, there's definitely
I
180
was
school
late
days.
pretty much every day. Because we would stay up all night playing that game. We're just playing the zombie. Like, it's like back in the day, we weren't good enough to do Easter eggs. And then, senior year of high school, we started watching YouTube tutorials and all that stuff. And we figured out how to do all the Easter eggs. And we were just going through the different zombies maps, trying to get the Easter egg done. Yeah, dude, that was like some of my best memories ever, was playing zombies all night with the boys doing the Easter eggs. Like, you'd save one zombie at the end of the round so that you could complete the step in the Easter egg or get the next piece of the wonder weapon, whatever it may be. So yeah, Call of Duty Black Ops 1, and I think it was Black Ops 3 was the other one. Those were
Black Ops, yeah.
Those were some of my favorite of all time.
Yeah, Nuketown on the original Black Ops, dude, just like an incredible map. And here's one thing here's one thing I'll say, whether it's Gears of War, Call of Duty, one thing that I loved about like the 2010s, and even like I didn't do it till like 2010, but the midnight releases at some of the game stores. I don't know if you ever went to one.
I went to one, dude.
Did you go to Game Surge?
Yeah, we went to Game Surge for Modern Warfare 3.
That's right. And Brandon won the tournament that night.
No.
But then that was a different year. Then you came another time.
Yeah, he did not win the tournament at that time, because I remember I was too scared to play in the tournament. So I let you use my play.
I do remember that now.
And you did not do too hot.
No,
And
I
you
was very
said
bad.
the guy that won was the guy that had won like the last 3 years in a row or something.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Maybe he did.
He
That's
was an
probably
older guy. So
true.
like we were in school still. He was not in school.
Okay, yeah. That's definitely true because I remember Brandon beat that guy though for one of them for Black Ops
Okay.
or something because we went. Brandon was like in the top like 1% at one point on. We might have to have him on here at some point and do like a video game like podcast where he just talked about all his records he broke. He was like a streamer for a minute too and had a decent following. Now he's a real estate agent. If you're looking for a house in the Akron area, but yeah, man, we were. It was just so cool because it was like I don't know. There was just something about like getting excited for the game to release, like going and buying the disc. I know it's all like mostly digital now, right? But
Yeah.
like going, like there was just something about waiting and then being like, hey guys, like, we're kids, we're in high school or whatever, but it's like we're going to stay up till midnight and later and we're going to go out to this store with a bunch of other people and wait for this brand new game to release. We'll be some of the first ones to play it and then we can go home with our own disc. And we literally do a tournament there. And it was just so cool. It was like a big party. And yeah, man, I don't think, I mean, now, like, they might have tournaments, but it's probably all from home. It's like, like game store,
Yeah.
do game stores exist anymore? Like, I don't even know, man. It's like,
I mean,
it's
like a
crazy.
lot
It
of
wasn't
GameStops are
that long
closing
ago.
down. Like it's the gaming buy a game industry is collapsing, I will say.
Yeah. Which I understand, but it doesn't mean that it's better. I mean, the gaming might be better, but it's like socially though, it was just so much fun
Yeah.
to be able to go and have that experience.
Yeah.
And I feel like now gaming is, yeah, it's great. Like it's technology. Technology is great. It's amazing. All this stuff. It's convenient. It's efficient. Those in-person experiences of like the Madden tournaments that we would have and like, the community, the Modern Warfare, the Call of Duty tournaments. It was just incredible. And going to the game store, looking around, seeing the Xbox green, you know, disc cases, trading in games. It was so much fun. It was just like, I miss it, man. I miss it. But Call of Duty and Gears of War definitely top two games for me uh, in that Xbox realm. Now I do feel like gaming changed though after the 360. Like I think 360 was prime Xbox personally.
Yeah, I agree.
Like the games, the era, everything. And the Xbox One is great, and whatever the new Xbox is, I'm sure is great. But I just think the 360 is goated.
For sure.
It was the first of its
It's probably
kind,
the
and it
best console
lasted.
of all time.
I think so. Anyway, those are the two others. But real quick, do we have any honorable mentions? What were some other games? I really liked Red Dead Redemption was a good game. The
My number
Assassin's
3
Creed
is
games,
going to be
amazing.
2 games, but I have a good honorable mention.
Okay, I
Did you
want to
say
hear it.
Assassin's Creed? Is that what you said?
Assassin's Creed was amazing.
Those are some good games. Honorable mention: Nintendo, Mario Kart,
Yes.
and Super Smash Bros. I will say, I do have both of those games. I have a Switch. I have both of those games. Don't play me in Super Smash Bros. Because you'll beat me and I'll get mad about it.
Yeah.
And don't play me in Mario Kart because I'll beat you and you'll get mad about it.
Bro, here's what's crazy.
I'm cracked in Mario Kart.
In Indianapolis, and they actually in Indianapolis and Nashville, I've been to bars where they're kind of like, they're really fun bars, but they have like games and stuff like that. And they both had Nintendos with Mario Kart and Smash Bros. So there's like this growing barcade scene, which is
Yeah.
amazing. And I think it's great because it's preying on, millennials and Gen Zers that grew up with certain video games, playing with people in the room that you don't do as much anymore. So they have these games that are still goated. Both of those games, amazing. And you'll just sit there and drink beers and play all night. It's so much fun. And
Quarter Up Bar in Akron has a Nintendo Wii.
where's that at?
I think the Valley. I don't know all the different Akron places. I don't go out very much, but I've been to that bar a couple of times because it's just like an arcade bar. Like they just have a bunch of arcade games and then they have a Nintendo Wii.
Yeah, we'll have to check that out next time I'm in town. But
For sure.
I'm gonna have to find. There's some barcades around here. I just got to find the ones that have those video games. But yeah, those were amazing games. Nintendo 64, another goated console.
Absolutely.
Not the 360, but still one of the best.
Yeah.
And the PS2. I would say Xbox 360 is number one, and then Nintendo 64, yeah, and then PS2. I think because PS2
I
was a
wasn't a PS2
huge
guy. I
leap.
was an Xbox guy. I've always been an Xbox guy.
but you weren't around for the regular PlayStation,
No, I
right?
was not around for the
So
PlayStation OG.
the leap from PS1 to PS2 is insane, and I
Yeah.
think that's why I would give it number 3.
I mean, I played PS2, like, Owen and them had a PS2, so, like, I've played it before, but I've always been an Xbox guy. I've
Yeah,
never
no,
bought a
same.
PlayStation before.
Xbox will always be the best. I'm just saying though, for anyone that grew up on the regular PlayStation or Dreamcast, even when PS2 came out, because PS2 was before the Xbox, even the original Xbox. PS2 was still better than the
You
original
Now that you
Xbox.
say that, I can think of a lot of PS2 games that I really liked.
Go ahead, shoot, go for him.
Actually, Tack was on both of them. I think that there was another one with a guy named Jack, and I think that was PlayStation only.
Mm.
And then I think it was called Sly. You were like this
Yes,
raccoon.
I forgot about that game.
That was a good game. That was a good game.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if there's any others that come up real quick
But
on here.
number 2 for me, or actually, so Call of Duty is gonna be my number 2. That's my number 2 best game of all time, the Black Ops 1 and 3. Number 3 for me, I'm gonna have to go combine because I had my eras in both of these games, and they both brought me a lot of joy and a lot of pain and suffering. Has to be some sports games, FIFA and 2K combined. Me and my buddies in high school, post high school, we used to run it on the park. I think you've met my buddy Trenton before, and I don't know if you've met Nick, but it was 3v3 in the park, and me, Trenton, and Nick used to run the park. There was one year where we had less than 100 losses and had played over 1,000 games. Like, we were very good. And then FIFA, like, I mean, I buy FIFA every year still, and like, the last couple of years I had been playing FIFA like all the way through until the next release. This year I didn't, just because so many people don't play the game anymore. So now you're only playing the really good people and the like pay
Yeah,
to win people. So it's like, I'm not paying any money for, extra players and all this stuff. I'm doing everything, blood, sweat, and tears. So I'm just getting absolutely like mollywopped by everybody, dude. Like, it's so bad. Like, these teams that I'm playing against, like, they're all legend teams. They have the names. They got Mbappe's, the Hollands, the best players they can possibly have. And I couldn't get on the game and have fun anymore. It was just aggravating. So I stopped playing. But my number
yeah, no,
one, I don't know if you played my number one a whole lot. And my number one, I think, is going to be a lot of people's number.
I'm ready.
Number one, best game of all time, Pokemon.
Oh wow, are we
I have the
talking on the
most.
Game Boy?
Yeah. I
Okay,
mean,
yeah.
so like it's always on a handheld console. So like it's on the Switch now, which is technically a handheld console. It's got the dock so you can play it on the TV. But like growing up, I remember going to like wrestling tournaments, soccer tournaments, and I just, going up to Cedar Point, I just always take my Game Boy with me and I'm playing Pokemon the entire time. Like waiting for my next match, playing Pokemon. 2-hour ride to Sandusky, playing Pokemon the whole time. Like, it's just like some of my most childhood memories are from playing Pokemon. And I still play it a little bit. I have the newest one on my Switch. Haven't played it in a long time. I beat it pretty quickly. And there's a new game coming out this year, and I fully intend to buy it and play it until I beat it.
Yeah, that is one game that I never really played. Here's the thing, I always wanted to, and I loved watching the show Pokemon. Dude, for whatever reason, I was not smart enough to play the game on a
Dude,
Game Boy.
such
I just
good
had
games,
so much
man.
trouble with it, and I was like, "Why?" I was never good at it. My sister Allison, she played it a lot, and then and then when the Nintendo DS came out,
Hmm.
Katie played it a lot because wasn't it
Yeah.
on the Nintendo DS
Yep.
too? Yeah, so Katie loved Pokemon for a minute there and was playing all the games on the DS. Because I remember I had the PSP, which was the handheld PlayStation,
Pretty small.
which was incredible. I mean the pretty small
If you know that
PlayStation.
joke, man, that's an old
If you
one.
know that joke, then you are so old. You're at least 25
Yeah.
because
I had the PSP
that
too.
is
That was another goated console, dude. That
yeah,
thing was
I've
great.
I've heard. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, man, we've had pretty small PlayStations. Portable, what was it?
Wait,
Portable.
how have you heard? Huh? Who told you?
We grew up together. We'd take baths together and we would have our PSPs with us.
Mm,
Yeah, we're talking about like these Game Boy things that are PlayStations.
yeah,
So
yeah.
anyway, for the children listening and that are too young to know what a PSP is, but I don't think so. They don't even have a portable PlayStation thing anymore, though, right? Are there any portable like
There is, I
Game
don't know what
Boys
it's
or what?
called. I mean, it's like the Switch is portable,
A Switch, right?
but there is something for like Xbox and PlayStation, maybe just Xbox. I don't know. I know that there is something out there. I just don't have one. And don't game enough to look into buying one. So
Yeah,
I'm not 100%
same.
sure.
Yeah, same. But dude, no, Pokemon definitely is up there, and a ton of people used to play the card games as well. There was like a card Pokemon, and there was Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
There's a new digital Pokemon card game that a bunch of my
Really?
people at work are playing. It's on the
Really?
phone, yeah.
I think I've seen that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let me say here, I have like 20 other. We'll do
Well,
some
say
mentions real
hello.
quick. Oh, what's going on, girl?
Say hello
Ask her
to
what
the
she thinks of
podcast
John Cena.
world. What do you think of John Cena? Is he your favorite? Say yeah.
Wow, amazing. Well,
All right.
folks, this is the girl that Jacob was talking about a few weeks ago that
Yep.
peed on his bed.
Peed on my bed.
You want to introduce her?
Yeah, her name is Kezia. Say hi to everybody. Say hi. She is getting very well behaved. Very well behaved. Her
Good.
recall, just about there. Like I take her outside with me to warm up my car every day. She walks right by my side, sniffs, stands at the car while I turn it on, and then walks right back in with me. If I take her outside and I tell her, hey, Kezia, come, she comes. And then I fenced in the backyard last week, and she
Oh, heck yeah.
absolutely loves it.
I
Took her a
bet.
minute to go out there without me, so I was a little worried because one of my mom's dogs will not go outside without her. Like if she's inside, he's inside. If she's outside, he'll bark at her to go inside. So I was a little worried that she might be that. She spends time like when I would go over to my mom's house because she has a fenced-in yard. So like she would go out there if the older dog was out there. But then when he would come inside, she would come inside. So I was a little worried the first day because she did not want to go out there without me. Like I was doing the dishes and she stood by the open back door for 10 minutes like looking at me whining, being like, let's go outside, Dad. Come on, let's go outside. And then finally she went out there and now she'll go out there by herself. But now I'm running into the problem that she's been digging and she's been getting really muddy. And then she comes inside and she's like, Dad, did you miss me? And climbs on me and gets me muddy. All right, it's not that time. It's not that time.
Yeah, I've been having that issue with my roommate lately. Yeah, he's digging in the park, and you're not supposed to do that in New York, so we can actually get fined for it. But yeah, well, Kezia, welcome to Half Brothers Pod. She is so jealous right now that you're giving me the attention and not her.
She
But
is.
you can tell her that she's gonna have you the rest of the week. So this is my time. This is the fans' time.
The
The fan.
fans. We're doing it for our fans.
Yeah.
We get
So real
decent
quick, I'm.
reviews on YouTube and we got our one on Spotify. Silas, we're talking to you. Appreciate you, brother.
Oh yeah, shout out to Silas, bro. Shout out to Silas and the Spotify community because they're gonna this week we're gonna bump up the Spotify listens. All right, let me just name a few games real quick and we'll go on to our next topic. But here's the top 20 video games ranked apparently in like popularity according to
I think I know what number one is.
I'm gonna go from 20.
Okay.
This is
Let
the
me guess number one
most
before you do it.
I don't know if this is accurate.
What's 20?
This is going, you know what? Oh, this is just a random ranking list. Okay. So 20, we'll just go through them real quick and then I'll slow down for like the top 5. 20 is Portal 2. Never heard of it. 19, League of Legends. That
Big
was a big
time.
game.
That's a big game.
18 was Pokemon Fire Red / Leaf Green.
That's the old school one.
The Game Boy Advance one, right?
Yep.
17 is Dark Souls.
That's a big game.
Yeah. 16 was The Last of Us, which
That's a big
turned
game.
into a show.
Yep.
That's like a huge game. I've never
That's
played
the
it,
first
but
one to do it, and now they're doing them with a bunch of them. Actually, no, it's not the first one to do it. They did the Halo show. I actually do
how
think they
was the
did the
Halo
Gears of
show?
War movie. I didn't watch it.
I think there was something potentially with Gears of War. I don't know how far it got. I don't know if it was a movie or a show or a pilot episode or what, but it could be a great show if done well. 16 was The Last of Us. 15 is Minecraft. That's huge. It's not really a game to me, but
Excuse me. It's not a
go ahead.
game.
I mean, it's like building blocks, right?
Dude, that's one of the greatest games of all time.
But what about Legos? What's the difference between Minecraft and Legos?
Minecraft is on a video game server and you can beat the Ender Dragon, and there's way more in it now, but that's
All right.
what there was when I played it.
Okay, my bad. Sorry, I didn't know there was a gender dragon there, but that's pretty sweet. Is it just like you just like call them a bunch of pronouns?
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much.
14 is Uncharted 2, Among Thieves.
I've heard of it and they made a movie out of it.
13 was Super Mario Galaxy, 2007. This was a Wii game. I do remember this one. It was a
I
lot of
remember
fun.
that one. It was a
I
lot
don't know
of
if
fun.
it's top 13 is kind of high for it, but okay. There's so many games from the 90s and 2000s, I feel like that could have. Anyway, I digress. 12, Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater. Never played it. Did you?
No, I mean, I've played a Metal Gear Solid game, but not enough to like actually know what.
Okay, I'll speed through these last few real quick, and then I'll save some time for the top 5. But
I don't
say
know
it
the
is
number one because number one is Minecraft. It's like the most
okay.
purchased game
Okay.
of all time.
Wow. All right. Well, this is just someone's random ranking that clearly has no credentials. But you step in and stop me if you want to comment on any of these. 11, Shadow of Colossus.
Never heard of it.
10, Mass Effect 2. That was a big one.
I've heard of it, but not really.
9, BioShock. That was fun.
That was a big one.
8 is World of Warcraft. Okay.
I've heard of it, never played it. Wish I would have.
Yeah, it's a huge game. It's still very popular. 7, Red Dead Redemption. That game is amazing.
Also never played it, but wish I
Very good storyline, old school shooter, old west type feel.
Did you ever play
6,
Gun? It was sort of like the first Red Dead on the original Xbox.
maybe. I
That game
cannot
was
remember.
good. That was a good game.
I remember that plane game that I could never beat. It was like Tom Clancy's plane game or whatever.
Oh, I remember playing that game at your house.
Yeah, we played it in the living room and we could never get past a certain thing. But it was
Yeah.
dope. All right, number 6 is Call of Duty 4, the original Modern Warfare. Okay, and I'm not going to agree with the rest of this list because
Is it all Call of Duty?
no, that's the only Call of Duty here.
No Black
But-
Ops. Modern Warfare 2.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. That's why this list is ridiculous.
Okay, what's the rest?
5 is the Elder Scrolls versus Skyrim. I know that was huge. 4 was Half-Life 2. 3 is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Oh my gosh. Okay. This is definitely one of the greatest video games of all time. I can't believe I forgot about this game. It came out in 2004, and it was the first time you could ever do a free roam and just be a total hoodlum, breaking the law, hurting people, everything that you think like, what would it be like if I was a terrible human being? You can just do in that video game.
Yep. That was a good game. I'll give it to him.
Yeah, and
And
mostly
then Skyrim
stealing
was
cars.
also a good game. That game
Oh, yeah.
was very good.
Did you play Elder Scrolls?
That's the
Five?
maker of the
Yeah.
game.
Oh, okay. I was like, what is that? Okay.
Yeah, Elder Scrolls was the game series. Number 5 was Skyrim.
Now, you had Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, didn't you?
I did, yes.
Yeah, because my parents wouldn't let me get that game. And so when I would go to your house, we would play a lot. And when you would fall asleep, I would play it even more because I knew I wasn't gonna be able to play it when I went back home. So I would literally just like steal cars and play. I learned how to change the radio station on those cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. It was I would like
Break
I
into the
printed out.
airport, steal the plane.
Yes, I printed out a bunch of cheat codes and stuff like that. Me and Moochie like had a packet. We'd get packets of cheat codes from these websites and print them out. It was insane. Halo Combat Evolved. That's the first Halo.
Okay. Fair.
Yeah, that was a great game. I remember I'd always kill my teammate in the story mode, and they would turn on me real quick, and I'm like, ah. Number 1, okay. This is a little bit before us, but there was a remake for the 3DS in 2011.
I might.
Think about the character is on Mario Smash Bros. I'm going to give you a few guesses.
Mario.
Wait, actually, I'm sorry. I think I just got him mixed up. No, it's not Mario. I think I just lied to you. Okay, I might have lied on accident. I can't remember if he's in it or not.
Donkey
The Legend of Zelda.
Well, yeah, he's in it.
Okay, he is in it. Okay.
Which
Yeah.
Legend of Zelda is it? The Oracle
I think
of
it's
Time or something?
in 1998. Technically 1998, but the 3DS remake
The
dropped in
year I was
2011
born.
and was huge. 2011? Just kidding. Yeah, 98. So yeah, so that is a huge game.
Yeah.
That character
Fair.
has been around as long as Mario and Sonic and all them. So
And I remember playing that on the 64. So like it's a good game. I'll give it to him. That's a good game.
okay. Well, folks, there you have it. Our favorite video games. If there's any others that we missed, please drop them in the comments. Please text us or send us an aggressive threat as to why we left out your game. Jacob, here, we can talk about this if you want. I don't know much about it, but you dropped it in one of our little note things that
Yes,
we have.
before we talk about that, soccer update.
Here we go. That's what I was going to say, Jacob.
Okay,
Is the soccer update.
sweet. I thought it was going to be the other thing. So, both teams made the playoffs. Co-ed team got the 2nd seed, so, a little higher up. Top 4 teams.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick for our newer listeners, give them like a quick 10-second background of your soccer teams, names, and what's going on.
All right,
Quick 10-second
I play on
background. Go.
3 soccer teams. I play 2 co-ed teams, 1 men's league team. Men's league team is the Disruptors. Co-ed Thursdays it's called Ligma. And then Saturday is Good News SC. That's with my high school boys. That is the team that I help manage. So that is my team. But the other 2 teams, they picked me up I play with them. They kind of play with each other, both teams. So a lot of the guys that play on the men's team also play on the Thursday night co-ed team. Not a lot of guys that play on the Thursday night co-ed team. Well, some of them. There's like a handful of us. Anyway, so Tuesday men's league team makes the playoffs. We get the 4 seed. That's the last seed in the playoffs. The only top 4 teams make the playoffs. We get the 4 seed, so we got to play the best team in the league essentially. Thursday night co-ed team, which will be tomorrow. We got the 2nd seed in that, but all the teams in the playoffs we've put, double-digit goals on, so we should win the championship. But men's league we've only beat 1 team that is in the playoffs. Didn't beat the 2nd place team, got smoked by them, and tied the 1st place team at the very end of the game. So we're playing the 1st place team last night. We score the first goal. They score maybe 20 minutes after that. So about 30 minutes into the game, it's tied up 1-1. 10 minutes left in the game, they score another goal. We're down 2-1. Literally off kickoff, we play it to this dude who's not even usually on our team. He actually plays on the 2nd place team. That's his team. Like, he manages that team. So we play it to him. He kind of goes to the right side of the field. I start on the left side of the field, but I'm like down towards the goal, run across it. He plays me this beautiful ball. I, one-on-one with the keeper, shoot it, hit it right at the keeper. He doesn't make a good enough save, so it bounces back to me, and I just tap it into the goal. Instantly tie the game up 2-2. Rest of the 10 minutes, game stays tied. We go into OT. For indoor, OT rules is, so like it's usually 6v6 in indoor. OT rules is 3v3, including the keeper. So 2 field players and a goalie for overtime. We started with the ball during the game, so they get to start with the ball in OT. They're attacking us for 2. It's me and Brad. You know Brad. Me and Brad are the 2 that get picked for our team to play. And they're just attacking us the entire time. For like 2 minutes straight, they're attacking us. They're just kind of not really attacking us, but they're passing the ball around, making me and Brad chase them so that they can't get a good shot. And then for whatever reason, the 2 field players on their team both decide to go to the right side of the field. Keeper goes to the left side of the field. Their keeper's up in their attack with him. He's this pretty big in shape guy, like pretty tall in shape guy. So he's up in the attack with them. They pass it to him on the left side of the field. And of their 3 that are on the field, he has the worst feet. So I just press him. I press him hard. Just run at him hard. I'm like, I don't think he's going to try to take me on the wall and go to goal. So I'm thinking, if I press him hard, he's going to try to go back towards his goal and pass it to one of his teammates. He does exactly that. So plays it, like, essentially I run right into him, take the ball. And as soon as I take the ball, like, I think Brad could tell, like, oh, he's about to get this ball. Like, I got to get ready. So I take the ball and Brad just takes off. So I, play him the ball, and Brad is the fastest player on the field. I'm the 2nd fastest player on the field, so I'm the only person that can catch him, and I know I'm not catching him, so I just start running, like, with my hands up, like, let's go, let's go. Like, I know, like, they're not catching him. We won. He almost dribbles into the goal. It's like, they literally couldn't catch him because the goalie was all the way up. So we end up winning in overtime against the number 1 seed, and it was crazy. It was such a hype moment. Like, I'm running across the field, just hands up, like, let's go, just screaming my brains off. I run across, to our bench and like high five everybody. The keeper that played with us was also the dude on the number 2 seeded team. So like we had 2 players from the number 2 seeded team that played with us. Aren't on our team, but he was a very good keeper. I would say he's probably the 2nd best keeper I've played with, other than the keeper that plays on my co-ed team. And me and him, chest bump at, like, I run straight to him, chest bump him. Like, it was insane. It was electric, but it was a good time. Tomorrow we should just stomp this team. Like, it's not going to be nearly as exciting. We're just going to run right through them. But yeah,
Bro,
it was really exciting.
dude, that's so hype. And you should start getting a little bit of. You should start setting up, like, I don't know, a tripod or something, just to get some clips and scenes that we can share on here.
Yeah, we got enough people going to the games. I think I could pull something like that off. So I'll
Yeah,
have to.
man.
I'll have to. I should have had someone
But
recording that, dude. That
they
was
don't
so
have to. But that
exciting.
would have been, yeah, that'd have been hype. I would love to see. But knowing our luck, we're gonna start recording, and you're just gonna start playing terrible.
Yeah.
Just kidding. But that's pretty hype. So you have another. So tomorrow is the big game.
Tomorrow is our playoff game for the other co-ed team. We're the 2nd seed, and again, we have beaten every team in the playoffs by scoring 10 plus goals. So
Wow.
we actually played this team, the team that we're playing tomorrow. We played them last week and beat them 11-5. And they scored 3 goals because we switched out keepers, and the keeper that we had was Nutter, actually. And he was just having fun. He just didn't really, care to stop goals.
So many goals. I was gonna say. I mean, well, but you guys So 5, but still 11 goals? You guys scored 11 goals?
Yeah.
That's a lot of
Yeah.
goals.
Like, we put our
That's a
keeper
lo
at striker, and he scored 2 goals.
Yeah,
Our regular
yeah, like
keeper, and he's not a striker. He's not a goal scorer, and he scored 2 goals.
yeah, yeah, that's dang. I don't even know what that means, but when I think striker, I think,
Goal scorer.
okay, yeah, okay, I was thinking like O.J. Simpson, but yeah, so allegedly. But, yeah, man, that's crazy. I need to come to some of your games when I'm in town, but and I can get some film, some clips, but what I'm really gonna do is I'm just gonna take your worst moments and post them on the Half Brothers Pod, Instagram and TikTok.
That would have a better chance of going viral than the good clips, so
Yeah, 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 like
absolutely.
you, like, tripping and falling or something, and
I'll be real, Brad does that all the time. So Brad is the best player on the field.
shout out to Brad.
Yeah, shout out to Brad. He doesn't listen, but shout out to Brad.
Brad, what the heck, dude? I thought we were cool, bro. You watched me get my hair cut.
Yeah, dude, you watched him get his haircut, and you can't even listen to him and his brother's podcast?
Yeah, you better start
You make
listening,
me
bro. I
go
thought we were
run with you
boys.
all the time, and you can't even listen to my podcast? Actually, speaking of Brad, we did sprints today. Sprints was my idea. So we did sprints today, and we're talking in our group
Like
chat
sprinting,
beforehand.
like running? You
Yeah,
mean
like
running?
sprinting. And we're talking in our group chat beforehand, and I'm like, I'm thinking 6. He was like, what do you mean 6? We got to do 10. And I'm like, bro, we got a playoff game tomorrow. Like, I'm trying to win. Like, I really don't want to lose. Like, if we lose this game, it's on you because you made me do 10 sprints. And he was like, all right, fine. We're doing 10 sprints. And I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. We'll do 10. So we get there, we do about 2, 3, and I'm like, nah, Brad, I'm not doing 10. I was like, we're doing 6. I was like, you can do 10. I'm doing 6. And Brad's way faster than me. Acceleration, I'm quicker. Like, I can get up to speed quicker than Brad, but his top speed is so like he's beating me like every sprint we do by like a good 10 feet, which is in these sprints, like it's a good chunk. And then we're on our 5th one, and I'm right on his tail. I'm passing him for bits of it, but he knows how fast he is. And he's got a little bit of pride. He's a good Christian boy, but he's got a little bit of pride. So he doesn't want me to beat him. So he beats me, but I'm right on his neck, and he barely beats me for this 5th one. And then right after that 5th one, he goes, "Yep, I'm done." Because he's been having a hamstring issue, so like
Mm.
we started bugging him again. But he's like talking crap to me during the day, being like, "Oh, you don't want to do 10, blah 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 blah." And then we get there, he does 5. And he's like, "Yep, I'm done." I was like, "I told you, bro. You say all this stuff about I want to do 10, I want to do 5 miles when we run, I want to do this, that, and everything, and then you're freaking blowing out your hamstring every other week. You ain't 16 like you used to be when you were doing that stuff, man.
You ain't 16, bro. You ain't
You ain't
16.
16,
Yeah, don't
dog."
I'm telling you, bro, when you start feeling some pain, don't play with it. Like, don't play with that hamstring pain. That stuff's yeah, man. You talking about wrestling being fake earlier. Ain't nothing fake about those slams, bro, and all that stuff. And now, like, when I was younger and I found out wrestling was fake, I was like, "Oh, they're not even getting hurt." I just when
Yeah,
I heard fake, I meant, "Oh, everything must be like they must be a squishy mat and, like, soft tables and chairs." It's like, no, it might be certain materials or certain but they're getting slammed on wood and metal, like, all this stuff is still real, and now I'm watching, and every time they get slammed, I'm like, "Oh, dang, dang." Like, I can't I'm like, "How do you not" like, I hurt myself, tripping up the steps the other day like Joe Biden.
to
Like,
me,
how
it's
are these
more
guys
interesting knowing that it's scripted, because like now a lot of the times I'll watch too and be like, they botched that, or I'll be like,
oh,
did they botch that, or was that a work? Did they intentionally botch that? Like, what happened?
even yeah, whether they botched it or not, a lot of that stuff looks so painful, and it's like, I know if I took one of those choke slams, I would literally be in the hospital for weeks.
Yeah.
I would need another surgery. But Jey Uso did have a mess up last week
Yes,
that
he
was
did.
very evident, and he almost
Yeah.
got jacked up. But anyway, Brad, don't play with if you're feeling pain, man, go to Dr. Jacob because he can help you with that.
But you're playing tomorrow. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
That's right. You still got to be a man. Well, dude, look, here's what we can do, okay? Because I only have a little bit of time.
Yeah, I think we saved that other topic for the next episode.
Yeah, and if you guys want to know what the other topic was, you'll have to tune in for next week, which we should
Hit
have a
that
lot more
subscribe button so you
information.
know when the episode comes out.
Well, why don't we do this? How about I ask you some questions, kind of rapid fire, but also if you have some good answers, we can spend some time on it. But on the kind of related to video games, since we spent the majority of it talking about that. So we mentioned a bunch of favorites, honorable mentions, all this stuff. Think of any of them that you felt might have been underrated, whether you mentioned it or not. Kind of like your favorite underrated video game. And it could be Nintendo, Xbox, PlayStation, Dreamcast, Switch,
Favorite
PC.
underrated video game.
Underrated. Like, you really liked it, but not a lot of people talked about it. Or maybe it wasn't. I can think of one. I'll say one real quick.
Yeah.
Here's what we can do. We can, if we have an answer. Jet Set Radio.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
It was a skating game. You remember that?
Yes. That game was so fun, dude.
Yeah.
Yes, that
Yeah.
was a good one. That's a
Do you
good
remember what it
one.
was? It was like on rollerblades,
Yep.
and you were like going around like
Spray
tagging,
painting
spray
stuff.
painting and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
dude.
That's a good one. Man,
Yeah.
underrated.
I forgot about that game, but it just popped into my head as I was thinking about it because it was the first game I had on the original Xbox.
Yeah.
I got an Xbox, and it came with that game, and it's all I had for like the first 3 weeks until I got Raw vs SmackDown or whatever. But Jet Set Radio, amazing game.
I know one, Hobbit, on the original Xbox. That was a great game. I played that game a lot.
You did play that game a lot.
That
I
was a
never
good
got
game.
it, but I remember you always wanted to play it when I came over. You would bring it over to my house sometimes too. Very good game.
Yeah, so there was a game called Jack. That was an underrated one. It was on the
What was that
PlayStation.
one?
It was called Jack. That's another underrated one. And then
I remember Jack.
Fable. Not super underrated. A lot of people played those games, but those were great games.
Yeah, so Jack, I remember it was originally Jack and Daxter, right? That's the one I'm looking at now. Yeah,
Maybe.
Jack later. Yeah, you were a little young, but there was Jack and Daxter was on regular PlayStation, and then later they just made Jack.
Ooh, Ratchet and Clank. Those were some good ones.
Yep.
Yeah, right. Jack and Daxter.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, those are all solid. I'm trying to think if there's any more. There's got to be more. I felt like
Fortnite.
That's not underrated.
No, dude.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's overrated in my opinion. But anyway, which video game? How about this? Which video game world would you live in if you had to live in any of these video games? Which ones would you live in?
Minecraft.
Why?
Because I built a bat cave in Minecraft one time, and you know how cool it would be to have your own bat cave, dude? Like, that'd be sick.
Yeah, that would be sick. You know what? If I had to live in any of these, I would not live in Gears of War. I would not live in Halo. I would not live in any
the
of
war
these
games
scary
are
games.
out of the question 100%.
100%,
or a
dude.
Pokemon world. That'd be sweet.
That could be dope. I actually think maybe it's because it's fresh on my mind, but I feel like Jet Set Radio would have been the most fun world to live in because you're just rollerblading around, spray painting stuff.
That would have been a cool one.
Fake cops.
And there's no genocide in Jet Set Radio.
Yeah, which we're very against here at Half Brothers Pod.
Genocide, and then what would you consider like end of times? What is there a term for that?
Apocalyptic.
There's no genocide or apocalypse in Jet Set Radio.
That's right. Okay, do you remember what the first game was that made you like rage quit? I think I remember, but like for me, I'm trying to think. But like you were like, oh, you couldn't get past it, like you rage quit or you were annoyed by it, you rage quit.
Yeah, probably Hobbit.
Okay. Do you remember what part of it was?
It kind of like all of it. Because it would be like I would get to a part where, and I wouldn't be able to figure it out. Hobbit and Pokemon, to be honest. I get to a part of it where I wouldn't be able to figure it out, so I just stop playing, and then I start playing again, and then not figure it out, and then just kind of repeat that cycle until I figured it out. And then I get to the next level, and that same problem would happen again, where I wouldn't be able to figure out how to beat it, and then I'd stop playing, and then just rinse and repeat until I could figure it out. And then with Pokemon, I distinctly remember this in like the first one I played, you had to get this move called Cut to cut down a tree that was in your way to get across this bridge. And I didn't know that you had to talk to some random dude so he would give you the cut move so you could teach it to your Pokemon and cut down this tree. So I was just stuck on that part for forever and couldn't get past it and stopped playing Pokemon for the longest time. And then I think somebody told me how to get through that part, and that's how I did it.
Yeah.
But definitely those two.
So you got the answer from an external source.
Yeah. Or I might have got lucky and just randomly talked to the guy.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what my first rate. Oh, I do remember mine. Mine was the Batman Vengeance game for the original Xbox. I wanted to get, I don't even think I ever finished that game.
I never played it, but I remember watching you play it.
Dude, I'm mad now thinking about it because I never got past, I never finished the storyline on that. And that game came out in like 2005 or something.
Dude, it's like that's why Hobbit's kind of on my mind. Well, one, we watched the Lord of the Rings series. I go over to my mom's every Sunday and we have dinner and watch a movie. So we watched Lord of the Rings and we're now watching Hobbit. So it reminded me about the game. And then I started looking for the game, being like, I bet I could beat it now. It's still like $60, dude. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's crazy. Let me here. We'll finish with this one. If let's see. I have two questions, and you can answer either of them depending on if you have an answer for one. One is, what's the first game you ever 100% completed that you remember? Or which game had the biggest plot twist that blew your mind? Or both?
First game I ever 100%ed, returning one, Pokemon.
Okay.
I can't remember which one it was. It definitely wasn't Fire Red or Leaf Green. It wasn't one of that. It was probably it was I had Sapphire on. That was the next one that came out, and I 100%ed that. And then what was the other question?
Was there a plot twist in a game that really blew your mind in any video game? Like the storyline where it's like it turned around and you're like,
Not that I can think of. No.
yeah, I know there has to be for me, but I cannot think of it right now. I think in Gears of War, actually, at one point, there was a suicide that happened with one of the main characters that I did not see coming.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually, it was a sacrifice, I guess, but he ended up, he knew he was gonna die, but he kinda, like, did what he had to do, and then he killed himself before they could get to him
Yeah.
type thing, but he was gonna sacrifice himself anyway. So that kinda blew my mind because it was, like, a main character in the storyline that I was like, "He's gonna be until the end." I think the first game I ever completed 100% was Lego Star Wars,
That game's goated.
and I think you might have helped me with some of those levels.
That
It's
game's
like
goated.
you, Dewan, everyone that came to my house would help me get to the next level, bro. It's like I would have friends stay the night and be like, "All right, here's how far I am. I need help.
That was a good game.
Let's go."
That was
Yeah.
a good game.
So it's like you would come over one week, it's like, "Thanks for the help," and then Moochie would come over, and then Dewan come over. You guys would rotate in helping me beat that game.
But they kind of made
And
it seem like it's not that good of a game by releasing Lego everything else.
I know, but Lego Star Wars was first,
Yeah,
and it
and
was amazing,
it's
and it
goated.
was goated, one of a kind. But anyway, we could go on and on and on about video games and everything. But we're gonna go ahead and transition here to the end. So Jacob, as we're coming to a close, any last thoughts, last words, plugs, anything you have you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, I am going to start posting on Instagram to help you get fit and stay healthy and be able to play with your kids. Um, so follow me at underscore hoppy hops. There's now going to be, I'm not going to post my daily workout just because it takes too long and I'm too busy, but I am going to post an exercise of the day. So
Mm,
one exercise for my workout or, maybe just a clip from soccer, something, but I'm going to post an exercise every day. I'm going to give you a little breakdown on why I like it, what it's going to do for you. So yeah, give me a follow on Instagram underscore hoppy hops.
we love that, and maybe occasionally, like once a month, you can do like just a full workout video or something. You
Maybe,
don't have to do it every day, but we'd love to see some content because you got a lot of knowledge to share,
maybe.
and you can make it free for now, and then eventually we'll pay you and we'll get your followers up. Jacob knows a lot, guys, so give him a follow for sure. He can help you out. I have a quick plug. If you can go follow my YouTube channel at Glenn Tyler TV, me and some comedians are working on some cool sketches that will be dropping in the next few months, hopefully. And I also am interviewing some New York City comedians, as well as maybe some other people that I'm excited to announce later on. Maybe a director of a movie that people might remember from like 2003, 4, which I'll
You
talk
going
about
big
later.
time.
I have some connections, but I'm gonna wait and see. But I might actually have some cool interviews, which we can talk about behind the scenes. But yeah, follow me at Glenn Tyler TV on TikTok and YouTube, and then also next Tuesday I have a comedy show here in New York City at Greenwich Village Comedy Club downtown. If you want tickets, you can follow me at Glenn. Shit, what's my name? I guess yeah. Glenny T shit on Instagram. I'll post there.
Well, so this is coming out on Monday. So is this comedy show tomorrow or is it next
This
Tuesday?
comedy show's Tuesday tomorrow. It's tomorrow, so you better hit me up quick because we're running out fast.
Hit
It's
him
about
up.
to sell out. And then yeah, and then that's all I got. And then the last thing, this is kind of a serious thing, real quick. I just wanted to end with I did find out recently. A good friend of mine growing up, we lost him last week, and so his name was Zach Predijev, and I just want to say rest in peace, Zach. You were an amazing guy, super just one of the best guys I knew growing up, and everyone in the Ellet community is mourning the loss. So be praying for Zach's family and friends that lost him. But yeah, so rest in peace, Zach. We love you. We miss you, buddy. And yeah, everyone else, just hug your loved ones. Let them know you love them. And you never know. You never know when they're going to be gone. So yeah. And on that note, that's all we have today, folks. So this has been a fun episode. Video games, I could talk about for days. I want to play video games again more, and I'm going to sit at home, never leave my house, stare at a screen, because what else can we do in 2025?
Nothing.
Hey, nothing. Nothing at all. All right, well, Jacob, this is fun. Again, folks, this has been a Half Brothers podcast. My name's Glenn.
I'm Jacob,
and this is
the Half Brothers Podcast. Make sure you
Alrighty.
subscribe and read your Bible. All right, bye.
Amen. Watch WWE.
I hit stop, but I don't